Hi, in this video we're going to take a look at another pattern for pipelining WDL scripts, and that's scatter gather. You can see that in the second picture here. So the concept is you can execute tasks in parallel. And again, this is really common because of the size of the tasks, because of the amount of input data coming in. So as we did in the previous example for linear, we're going to look at a script and then we're going to run it in two different execution environments. And all these scripts, by the way, are in the GitHub repo. You can see the URL here. It's in this section. Here we have a workflow called timing workflow, which has a workflow level variable defined on line 5 as sleep time, which is an integer. That's being used by our task, which is called sleep. So if we open up the sections of the sleep task, you can see that we are just echoing out I slept for an amount of sleep time, and then we're calling sleep. So it's a kind of a recursion or reuse of the task, if you will. And then the output is just reading the string into standard out. We can see on line 8 that the scatter keyword is used, and it has an argument of I in range for 15. So this is 15 iterations or 15 parallelizations. And if we open this up, it's just calling the sleep task, and it's taking as input the sleep time being set equal to I, which of course is just going to iterate as we go through this. So let's first look at how this would run on our VM. So in our VM, we have scatter.wdl and scatter.json to set our interval. And if we go ahead and we run this, and if we scroll up, we can see here's our output, and we can see our iterations going 14 times here. Now, as we did in the previous example, let's take a look at running this on Terra. So inside of Terra, I set this up as a method called scatter. And as with the previous example, the only difference between this script and the one I just ran is on lines 24 through 27, I have the required Docker attribute. So if we click on inputs, we can see that we've set the sleep time to 5. And let's run this analysis. And now I'm going to click view. This opens the job manager. So you can see that the task is scattered. So we already had a success on it, and this is probably because I ran it previously, and again, we took advantage of the cache. We had 15 shards or sections, and all of them succeeded. So you can see if we click on the sleep task name here, we can see information about the timing for each and every one of them, the number of attempts, and the inputs and the outputs of each task. So I slept for 0, and this one we can go in here and we can see 1, and I slept for 1. So you can see the loops basically. And as with the other workflow patterns that we've been looking at, the timing diagram is really interesting to look at here, because of course we would expect to have a number of different execution paths because we have scattered this. And you can see we have, we're requesting a token, preparing the job, using the call cache, updating the call cache, and then updating the job store. So this pattern of scatter gather is super common because of the volume that is being processed in your pipelines. So happy pipelining.